Welcome back to our channel World of Coins, the place where we uncover hidden treasures in your coin collection. Have you ever wondered if that old coins could be worth thousands or even millions? Well, today's your lucky day. We're diving into some of the rarest and most valuable US coins that might be sitting right under your nose. Let's jump in and see if you've got a fortune waiting to be discovered. Top 1. Have you ever imagined that a simple pocket change could hide a treasure waiting to be discovered? Among the coins we overlook every day, there are a few rare gems that quietly hold immense value, coins that seem ordinary until you learn their fascinating backstory. One such coin is the 2007 Washington State Quarter from Wyoming, a piece that's not just a tribute to American heritage but also a potential jackpot for the right collector. In this video, we're diving deep into the captivating world of the 2007 Wyoming Quarter, exploring how this unassuming 25-cent piece has become one of the most talked about coins among numismatists and treasure hunters alike. When the United States Mint launched the 50-state quarters program in 1999, no one could have predicted just how wildly popular it would become. This historic initiative aimed to honor each of the 50 states with a unique design on the reverse of the Washington Quarter, released in the order that the states joined the Union. By the time Wyoming's turn came around in 2007, collectors were already eagerly awaiting each new release. The Wyoming State Quarter stands out for its simple yet iconic design, a majestic bucking horse and rider, representing the state's rugged spirit and deep connection to cowboy culture. The words, "The Equality State," are proudly inscribed, commemorating Wyoming's pioneering role in granting women the right to vote. But what turns a quarter like this into a high-value collector's item? As always in coin collecting, it's a mix of rarity, condition, and unexpected minting anomalies. Most Wyoming quarters, even in good condition, are worth face value. But a select few, those that were struck with unusual errors or preserved in near-perfect condition, have risen to staggering heights in the coin market. For example, some Wyoming quarters have surfaced with dramatic die breaks, known as cuds, where parts of the design appear malformed due to damage on the die. Others have shown doubling on the inscriptions or the rider's silhouette, making them highly sought after by error collectors. These oddities, although accidental, are celebrated by numismatists for their uniqueness and rarity. Another factor that increases a coin's value is its grade, determined by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. Coins that are found in mint state condition, especially those graded MS 68 or higher, are incredibly rare. The flawless shine, crisp details, and lack of wear are what set these coins apart. While millions of Wyoming quarters were produced in 2007, very few were preserved well enough to earn such high grades, making them extremely valuable in today's collector market. And because the State Quarter series is still widely collected by people of all ages, demand for top-grade specimens continues to grow, pushing their prices even higher. What's even more exciting is that these rare coins often come from the most unexpected places. Stories continue to emerge of people finding valuable state quarters in everyday circulation, tucked away in a change jar, received back at a gas station, or hiding in a drawer for decades. The thrill of potentially finding a coin worth thousands is what keeps collectors constantly searching, inspecting every quarter that passes through their hands. So, what should you look for if you're hunting for a rare 2007 Wyoming quarter? First, check the condition. Does it look fresh from the mint, with sharp detail and no signs of wear? Then look closely for unusual features, doubling of the text or image, odd shapes or marks on the coin's surface, or any irregularities that make it stand out. Even small imperfections can be the key to unlocking a coin's true value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone curious about the change in your pocket, keeping an eye out for these special traits could lead to an exciting discovery. And now comes the part that truly surprises most people. While the average Wyoming quarter may be worth just 25 cents, one rare example, flawless in condition and possibly featuring a unique error, has been valued by collectors and auctioned for an incredible $44,000. Top 2. Have you ever taken a moment to really examine the coins in your pocket? Most of us use them without a second thought, but hidden among these everyday pieces are treasures that could be worth a small fortune. One of the most surprising examples comes from a series you've likely seen countless times, the Washington State Quarters. Today, we're taking a closer look at one particular gem, the 1999 Connecticut State Quarter. While it may look like any other coin at first glance, this unassuming 25-cent piece has stunned collectors and enthusiasts around the world, not just because of its design, but because of how much it can be worth under the right conditions. What makes this coin so special? Let's dive deep into the fascinating story of the Connecticut Quarter and how it captured the attention of the numismatic community. The Connecticut Quarter was part of the legendary 50-state quarters program, launched by the United States Mint to celebrate each state's unique history and culture. Connecticut's design, released in 1999 as the fifth coin in the series, features the iconic charter oak, a symbol of American resilience and revolutionary defiance. This historic tree is said to have hidden the state's royal charter from the British in the late 1600s, preserving the colony's autonomy. That powerful story is immortalized on the reverse of the coin, where the sweeping branches and intricate trunk of the charter oak create a beautiful and symbolic image of freedom and strength. This was not just a design choice, it was a statement about Connecticut's proud legacy and role in shaping America's values. Now, let's get into the part that truly captures everyone's imagination: why a coin that was minted in the millions could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. As with most valuable coins, the secret lies in a combination of rarity, condition, and minting errors. While the 1999 Connecticut Quarter was produced in large numbers, not all coins were created equally. Some examples came off the minting press with striking mistakes, errors that would go unnoticed by most people but are considered treasures by collectors. These errors can include off-center strikes, doubled dies, missing lettering, or even wrong metal compositions. Each of these quirks turns a common coin into a rare and valuable collectible, but even without an error, condition plays a crucial role in a coin's value. Coins that were never circulated and remain in pristine, untouched condition, especially those that have been professionally graded as mint state 68 or higher, are extremely rare. Most coins suffer scratches, dings, or signs of wear within days of entering circulation. To find a 1999 Connecticut Quarter in flawless condition is like discovering a needle in a haystack. And that's exactly why these high-grade examples have soared in value over the years. Another important factor is timing. The Connecticut Quarter was released at the very beginning of the state quarters program, which means it wasn't just historic, it was also part of a national collecting craze. Millions of Americans began collecting these quarters when they were first introduced, tucking them away in coin folders and albums. But very few collectors had the foresight to protect these coins in near-perfect condition, and even fewer anticipated that errors would one day make them highly desirable. That scarcity, paired with the coin's historical significance and the continued popularity of the series, has made it a hot item in today's collector market. Collectors and dealers around the country have paid hefty sums for Connecticut quarters with unique errors or exceptional condition. There have been reports of these coins appearing at major coin shows, selling in online auctions, and being carefully preserved by longtime hobbyists who recognized their potential early on. What's most exciting is that these coins are still out there. You could find one hidden in an old coin jar, forgotten in a drawer, or resting in a folder from your childhood collection. All it takes is a sharp eye and a little bit of luck to uncover a coin worth far more than its face value. So, how much could the right 1999 Connecticut Quarter actually be worth? Among the rarest examples, those preserved in nearly flawless condition, or struck with a significant error, the value has reached an astounding $55,000. Top 3. What if I told you that a simple quarter, one you might have received in change at a grocery store or found buried in the cushions of your car seat, could actually be worth thousands of dollars? Sounds unbelievable, right? But it's absolutely true, and today we're diving deep into the fascinating story behind one such coin, the 2013 Perry's Victory and International Peace Memorial Washington State Quarter. At first glance, it may seem like just another coin in the state and national parks quarter program. But for those who know what to look for, and those lucky enough to possess a rare variation, this little piece of metal has become a sought-after treasure among collectors, with values reaching eye-popping figures you'd never expect. The Perry's Victory Quarter was released as part of the America the Beautiful series, a program launched by the United States Mint in 2010 to celebrate national parks and historic landmarks from every state and U.S. territory. This particular quarter commemorates the Battle of Lake Erie during the War of 1812 and the heroism of Commodore Oliver Hazard Perry. The reverse design of the coin features the towering peace memorial that stands in Put-in Bay, Ohio, a monument that honors those who fought in the battle and symbolizes lasting peace between the U.S., the United Kingdom, and Canada. It's not just a coin, it's a symbol of bravery, diplomacy, and the cost of freedom. Now, what truly elevates this coin from a simple piece of pocket change to a coveted collectible is the magic mix of rarity, condition, and error. When coins are minted by the billions, there are bound to be a few that come out different. And in the world of numismatics, different can mean valuable. Some Perry's Victory quarters were struck with notable minting errors. These could include things like off-center strikes, die cracks, double dies, or even rare planchet flaws. Others gained value simply by being preserved in mint condition from the moment they were struck. Imagine a coin that was never touched, never circulated, and protected in a plastic case or airtight slab from day one. Those examples, especially when graded by professionals as mint state 68 or higher, are incredibly rare, and therefore extremely valuable, but rarity isn't always enough. It's the combination of a compelling historical narrative, an eye-catching design, and the unpredictability of minting errors that turn a coin like this into a legend. Over the past decade, the Perry's Victory quarter has quietly gained attention in the numismatic world. Collectors who specialize in the America the Beautiful series are always on the hunt for the finest specimens, and the market has rewarded them handsomely. At coin shows, auctions, and even in private sales, stories continue to emerge about seemingly ordinary coins turning out to be extraordinary. What's even more exciting is the fact that this quarter is relatively new. Released in 2013, it's still possible to find one in circulation, though the chances of it being in top-grade condition or having a rare error are slim. Still, it's out there. In coin jars, in forgotten collections, and maybe even in your wallet right now. That's what makes this hobby so thrilling, the idea that life-changing value might be hidden in plain sight, just waiting for the right person to recognize it. So the next time you find a 2013 Perry's Victory quarter, take a second look. Examine the detail. Check for imperfections, errors, or signs of pristine condition. Because while it may look like just another quarter to most people, the truth is, it might just be one of those rare specimens that have stunned collectors and dealers alike. And for one of the finest known examples of this coin, preserved in nearly perfect condition or featuring a unique minting error, the value has climbed to an astonishing $27,000. Top 4. Have you ever taken a close look at the change in your pocket? That small, silver-colored coin you almost overlooked might actually be a hidden treasure. In today's video, we're diving into the incredible story of the United States of America Washington quarter dollar from the year 1974, a coin that many Americans handled casually decades ago, but today, certain rare examples of it are creating a serious buzz in the numismatic world. So what makes a simple 1974 Washington quarter so special? Let's unravel the mystery behind this overlooked gem and discover how it transformed from everyday currency to a highly valuable collector's item. The Washington quarter has been a mainstay in American pockets since 1932, originally introduced to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. The design, featuring the first U.S. president in a classical profile on the obverse, has remained largely unchanged for decades. On the reverse, we see the bold American eagle, wings spread in strength and vigilance, a patriotic symbol reinforcing the power and pride of the nation. The 1974 version of this quarter shares the same iconic design, but not every coin struck that year was ordinary. Hidden among the millions of pieces produced by the U.S. Mint are a select few that were struck with anomalies, errors, unique characteristics, or exceptional conditions, that turn them into incredible collectibles. When it comes to the value of a coin, three things can make all the difference: rarity, condition, and historical context. While 1974 quarters are not rare in general, those that were misstruck or preserved in uncirculated, mint state condition can command jaw-dropping prices. Some errors might include double dies, off-center strikes, or transitional planchets, where the wrong metal was used during minting, usually by mistake. Transitional errors are especially desirable among collectors because they only occur during brief periods of change in the mint's production. making them scarce and fascinating. For example, in the mid-1970s, the Mint was preparing for the bicentennial celebration, and any anomalies during this transition are of heightened interest, but it's not just about errors. A flawless coin, one that has never seen circulation, that still gleams with its original luster and has been professionally graded as a high mint state, say MS-67 or MS-68, is exceedingly rare. The higher the grade, the fewer there are in existence, and collectors will go to great lengths to secure one. These coins are often found in original mint sets or have been preserved by someone who recognized their potential early on. They're carefully stored, never handled with bare hands, and remain untouched by time. That level of preservation elevates the coin's desirability and drives up its market value. What makes this even more exciting is that a coin like this could still be sitting, forgotten, in someone's drawer, coin jar, or old family collection. Because the 1974 quarter is relatively modern, it's not unthinkable that someone could have held on to one without realizing its full worth. That's what makes collecting coins so exciting, the thrill of possibly discovering something valuable in the most unexpected place. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone who loves history, stories like these serve as a powerful reminder that treasures can hide in plain sight. The world of numismatics is full of surprises. Coins that were once overlooked, dismissed as common, or used for a quick candy bar purchase are now being re-examined, and some are being celebrated for their incredible value and historical uniqueness. This is especially true for the 1974 Washington quarter. So before you spend your spare change or cash in that jar on your counter, take a moment to inspect each coin. Because, believe it or not, one exceptional 1974 Washington quarter dollar has sold for an unbelievable $115,000. Top 5. Imagine reaching into your pocket and pulling out a coin that you've seen 1,000 times before, a coin so ordinary in appearance, you wouldn't think twice about tossing it into a vending machine or dropping it into a tip jar. Now imagine that very same coin, if struck just right, if preserved perfectly, or if bearing one tiny, unnoticed error during production, could be worth more than many people's annual salary. That's the incredible reality behind some rare examples of the United States of America Washington quarter dollar from the year 1979. While most people treat these coins as simple change, there are extraordinary versions that collectors will pay a small fortune to acquire, turning a 25-cent piece into a numismatic legend. The Washington quarter has a long-standing place in American coinage, introduced in 1932 and minted every year since, except for 1933. The design, with George Washington's resolute profile on the obverse and the proud eagle perched on the reverse, is a testament to the coin's patriotic legacy. In 1979, the U.S. Mint continued to produce quarters in high quantities to meet the growing needs of the American economy. These coins were struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition, replacing the 90% silver version phased out in the mid-1960s. With hundreds of millions minted across the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco facilities, the 1979 quarter is not rare in sheer numbers. However, rarity in the coin world isn't just about how many were made, it's about how many survived in pristine condition or how many were struck with remarkable, unintended features. Among collectors, what makes the 1979 Washington quarter potentially valuable is the presence of mint errors, die varieties, and the quality of the coin's condition. Some of the most desirable errors include off-center strikes, double dies, or quarters struck on the wrong planchet. These mint mistakes can elevate a common coin into the realm of serious collecting. A particularly famous variety seen in some 1979 quarters is the wide rim or near-date variety, where the date appears much closer to the rim of the coin than usual. This seemingly small variation has stirred a great deal of interest in the collecting community because it represents a minor change in the die design that few noticed at the time. Condition, too, plays a major role in determining a coin's worth. The vast majority of 1979 quarters have been passed from hand to hand for decades, showing signs of wear and tear. But those that were never circulated, that remained in mint sets, rolls, or were otherwise preserved under perfect conditions, can achieve high grades from professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. A coin graded MS-67 or higher becomes increasingly rare and desirable, because only a tiny fraction of coins ever survive the minting and packaging process with such perfect details, sharp strikes, and blemish-free surfaces. Add a rare mint error to that level of condition, and you have a coin that enters an entirely different level of the collecting market. There's something thrilling about knowing that a piece of currency you once ignored could be a rare treasure. It's not just about the monetary value, although that's impressive in itself. It's about the idea that history, precision, and chance intersect in the palm of your hand. Every coin carries a story, and in the case of the 1979 Washington quarter, some of those stories include unexpected errors, rare variations, and flawless condition, all of which contribute to soaring demand among collectors and enthusiasts. So the next time you're sorting through your change, pay close attention to those quarters from 1979. Look for signs of wear, or the absence of it. Check for off-center strikes, doubled lettering, or an unusual rim. Because one of those coins, hiding quietly in circulation for decades, might just be something very special. In one remarkable case, a flawless, high-grade, error coin version of the 1979 Washington quarter dollar was sold to a determined collector for a truly stunning amount. That coin changed hands for an eye-popping $103,000. Top 6. In the world of pocket change, few people pause to consider the hidden gems that might be resting unnoticed at the bottom of a drawer or rolling around inside a coin jar. But sometimes, just sometimes, a coin that looks like every other quarter you've ever handled could be something far more valuable. One of those extraordinary coins is the United States of America Washington quarter dollar from the year 1982. This coin, minted at a time of economic challenge and transition, may seem ordinary at first glance, but under the right circumstances, it can be worth a fortune. In this video, we're diving deep into the story, mystery, and hidden value of the 1982 Washington quarter, and why this specific year is more special than most people realize. Let's take a moment to understand the backdrop of 1982. This was a turbulent year economically for the United States. Inflation, rising interest rates, and changing fiscal policies influenced not only Wall Street but also the very coins that were struck and put into circulation. For the U.S. Mint, this was a turning point. In an effort to reduce costs and meet production demands, the Mint made a surprising decision in 1982: they stopped producing uncirculated mint sets. That might not sound like a big deal at first, but for coin collectors, it meant far fewer pristine examples of coins from that year were preserved in their untouched, mint condition. As a result, finding a 1982 quarter in top-grade uncirculated condition became significantly more difficult than for other years. The Washington quarter design in 1982 remained the same as it had been for decades. The obverse, featuring the noble profile of George Washington, was originally created by sculptor John Flanagan in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of Washington's birth. The reverse design, showing an eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows and framed by olive branches, had become an iconic American image. However, just because the design didn't change doesn't mean all quarters were created equally. In fact, some 1982 quarters exhibit slight but significant differences in their details, variations that drive collectors wild. One of the most sought-after varieties from this year is the 1982 No Mint Mark quarter from the Philadelphia Mint. Unlike quarters produced in Denver, which bear a visible D mark, some of the coins from Philadelphia were struck without any mint mark at all. While this was standard for Philly coins at the time, what makes them special is their scarcity in gem condition. Because of the halt in uncirculated mint set production, few of these coins were preserved in pristine, uncirculated form. And that scarcity has pushed up the value for top-grade examples. Additionally, errors and striking anomalies can significantly boost a 1982 quarter's value. Double die obverse, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or even quarters mistakenly struck on different coin blanks are incredibly rare and command premium prices at auctions. Imagine the excitement of a collector discovering such a coin. What was once a simple piece of lunch change suddenly becomes a rare collectible that could headline an entire collection. Grading is a crucial part of determining any coin's value. A quarter from 1982 that's been in circulation for years, showing signs of wear and fading details, might still be interesting but is unlikely to hold significant value. But one that has never touched human hands, showing razor-sharp details, flawless surfaces, and luster that glows like it did the day it left the mint, now that's a different story entirely. Coins like that are sent to grading services like PCGS or NGC and, if awarded high grades like MS67 or MS68, can become investment pieces worth thousands. There's a special thrill in knowing that coins we often overlook could carry history and value beyond imagination. Every coin has a journey, from the moment it struck to the years it spends in pockets, cash registers, and piggy banks. But sometimes, that journey is cut short. Sometimes, a coin is tucked away, forgotten in a drawer or stored carefully by someone who had a hunch. And when rediscovered years later, it has the power to surprise us all. So, the next time you come across a 1982 Washington quarter, take a closer look. Examine the details. Feel the weight of it in your hand. Because what might look like a typical piece of change could be a rare gem in disguise. And in one astonishing case, a rare 1982 Washington quarter, preserved in exceptional condition and bearing unique attributes, was sold for an unbelievable amount. That one humble quarter was purchased by a passionate collector for an eye-opening sum of $92,000. Top 7. It's easy to underestimate the value of loose change. A quarter is often just a way to feed a parking meter, grab a piece of candy, or round out $1. But imagine discovering that one of those ordinary coins in your pocket isn't worth 25 cents, it's worth tens of thousands of dollars. In today's deep dive into American coin history, we're taking a closer look at one of the most fascinating coins from the modern era, the 1983 Washington quarter dollar. This coin might not turn heads at first glance, but among collectors and numismatists, it holds a special place, one that could lead to a truly jaw-dropping payday if the right conditions are met. The Washington quarter has been a staple of U.S. currency since 1932, originally introduced to commemorate the 200th birthday of the nation's first president. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, the coin's obverse features the unmistakable profile of George Washington. Over the decades, the quarter has become one of the most circulated and recognizable coins in American history. But not all quarters are created equal, and that brings us to the unique characteristics of the 1983 issue. What makes the 1983 Washington quarter stand out? The answer begins with a historic decision by the U.S. Mint. Just like in 1982, the Mint chose not to produce any uncirculated mint sets for the general public in 1983. That means collectors couldn't easily obtain pristine examples of the year's coins. As a result, the only quarters from 1983 available to the public were circulated versions, coins that were spent, traded, dropped, and scratched, making them far more likely to suffer wear and tear over time. Because of this, high-grade 1983 quarters are exceedingly rare today, and they've become a serious target for collectors looking to complete top-tier sets. Another key factor is the metal composition and quality of the strike. By the 1980s, the U.S. Mint had long since transitioned to using a copper-nickel-clad composition instead of silver, which meant that coins had to rely on striking precision to maintain visual appeal. However, 1983 quarters were not always well struck, some were uneven, some had weak details, and others suffered from planchet issues. These manufacturing inconsistencies mean that finding a coin from this year that is both fully struck and in exceptional condition is like searching for a needle in a haystack. Collectors and coin hunters often look for standout features on a 1983 quarter to determine value. One of the most significant of these is the coin's condition, graded on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70. Coins that score above MS65, meaning mint state and almost perfectly preserved, are considered rare and highly desirable. In fact, some of the finest known 1983 quarters have achieved grades as high as MS67 or MS68, and these can command serious money at auction. The luster, strike sharpness, absence of blemishes, and even the alignment of the die can all impact how valuable a coin becomes, but there's more. Error coins from 1983 also add another layer of excitement to the story. These include double die varieties, off-center strikes, and other minting mistakes that slipped through quality control and entered circulation. These errors not only make the coins more unique but often significantly increase their value due to their rarity and the fascination they bring to collectors. Now, think about how many people have handled a 1983 quarter, tossed it into a vending machine, or dropped it into a tip jar, never realizing that it might be a rare treasure. That's what makes coin collecting so thrilling. It's the mystery of it, the hunt, and the possibility that what you thought was pocket change could actually be something far more valuable. So next time you're digging through your coin jar, checking the change from a cashier, or sorting through an old box in the attic, keep your eyes open for the year 1983. Inspect those quarters carefully. Look for clean surfaces, sharp strikes, and any signs of unusual features. Because while most quarters are just quarters, there's always a chance you could stumble upon something incredible, and in one stunning case, a brilliantly preserved 1983 Washington quarter, flawless in appearance and extraordinary in rarity, was discovered, graded, and sold at auction for a breathtaking total of $90,000.